1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so today I'm going to show you a finger picking exercise that I love to share with my students. Whether you're just getting started with finger picking or you want to work more on your accuracy and your endurance going through using your thumb and your index finger. This can also work on picking out individual strings and figuring out where they are. But as a basic exercise, we're just going to do the basic version of this today with just 3 notes. Okay, so really simple. On the fretting hand, we're only going to tackle 3 different notes. We're going to play the 3rd fret on the low E string. We're going to play the 6th fret on the low E string, and we're going to play the 8th fret on the low E string as well. And so you can play this with one finger. That's why I played it with one finger as a demo there. Makes it nice and easy to get into. And the 3rd fret is a G note. Fret number 6 is a B flat. You can also call it A sharp, but I'm going to call it B flat. And fret number 8 is a C, okay? So 3, 6, 8. Now, when we're holding this note here, we're going to pick that note with our thumb, right? So this whole exercise here, the main purpose is getting our picking hand or our finger picking hand working for us. So in terms of the actual notes on the fretting hand, if you only want to sit on one note and just get used to it, that is totally fine. We don't need to go through all these notes that I'm playing here, which, I mean, it's only 3 notes, but if you feel more comfortable just sitting on that one fret, the 3rd fret on string 6, or the low E string, be my guest, because really, like I said, everything is all over here on the picking hand, okay? So starting off here, if you've never finger picked before, we're gonna strike string number 6 with our thumb. Now you'll notice that my thumb is more parallel to the string. At first you might feel more comfortable going this way. So whatever way you start off, just keep in mind eventually, or over time and with some practice, the way you approach the strings will differ a little bit. But sometimes it's good to see what it's like for someone who's been playing for a long time with their fingers to see what those fingers look like. In this case here, my thumb is parallel to string number 6, and I'm sort of striking the string with the side of my finger. But play with whatever is comfortable for you, okay? To get started, the most important thing is just getting going with this. And then I'm gonna play the G string, or string number 3, with my index. And you'll see I'm plucking up, almost catching a little bit of the string underneath as I'm plucking. You don't want too much, just want a little bit, okay? And so the whole goal here is to try to keep the hand as stationary as possible, but I know if you're just starting with this technique, you might feel like your whole hand has to move, and that's okay. But eventually, what you'll want to see is your thumb and your index moving independently of your hand, okay? So not only independent of the other fingers, but independent of the hand. So finger independence of the fingers and of the hand. So to start off, the most important thing to get going is playing string 6 with the low E string, as well as string number 3, back and forth. You don't need to play it as fast as I'm doing that there. I know it might feel like that is way too fast, but I'm just showing that for a nice demo purpose. Okay, so getting that going, that's our first step. Now the cool thing is that once you get this going, this can transfer into a whole bunch of other patterns. Even if you just use your thumb and your index, in terms of Travis picking, you could go into full Travis picking patterns like so that's down the line, but really we're just using the same 2 fingers, just playing different strings, and I'm still only playing that one note, right? So there's a lot of things you can do with this. And I mean, if you're a student of mine, feel free to reach out and let me know that you're interested in this, and I can provide you with some materials there. But going through here, we're going to start with string number 6 on the 3rd fret, 4 times. And to make it more interesting and not so boring when it comes to just playing that, if you play that over and over for 5 minutes, it's going to be quite boring. So to break it up, to make it more interesting, we're going to go from the 3rd fret, so we play that 4 times, to fret number 6, which is B flat, right? We're going to play that twice, to fret number 8, twice. And as you work on this, you might notice that one finger is louder than the other. So if you notice one finger is louder at first, what I would suggest doing is trying to lower the volume of that loud finger rather than raise the volume of the quiet finger, because then that gives you room to grow in terms of volume, right? So if you've already maxed out your volume, you can't really go anywhere. It's always good to get used to playing very softly and then building it up as you go. So try to be nice and quiet with that if you can. So 4 times on the G, twice on the B flat, and then twice on the C, which is fret number 8. So 4 times, twice, twice. And that's our exercise, right? It's pretty straightforward, it's pretty basic, but my whole goal here, like I said, is trying to get your fingers working for you. So if you can get that going in consistent time, that's gonna be, you know, the greatest thing you can do, because that it builds up your finger strength, builds up the rhythm in your fingers, and your comfort level actually using your fingers to pick notes instead of using a pick. So simple on the fretting hand, leave it even just on one note if you need to. Try to get the rhythm going. If you can play with a metronome, that's cool. I mean, that'll help out, keep your timing. Now, I also do have a recording for any of my students here, so you'll get access to the PDF plus the recording of this actual exercise, so you can sort of listen to it and try to play along if you can. And that's, I think, at about 100 beats per minute. I'll have to confirm that. You'll see that in the notes, but 100 beats per minute, and it's just going to go on for about 4 minutes. And I've made it a nice layered approach, so there's a few different guitars in there, so it's fun to play along with. And it will, you know, as you're playing through it, it will mask any of the frustrations you might hear in your playing. So if you hear, let's say, a buzzing note like that, for now, the most important thing is moving along with this. So don't worry too much about the fine details until you get the muscle memory moving for this. And then once you have the muscle memory going, so your picking hand's moving, your fretting hand is going where it needs to go, then you can worry more about the individual sound of the notes, right? And that's always my approach. I like to, you know, attack the sound of the notes after you've got the muscle memory going for you. Now, as you're working through this as well, keep in mind I'm using one finger. This is a demo because it's easier to, you know, to show you if you're just starting with this to use just one finger. As you transition from note to note, if you lift your finger off, you'll notice a break in the sound. We're going to try to keep it consistent. So slide across while you're holding down. See the difference there? So I'm still just moving across, and that's something to strive towards as you move in between notes so that they sound very smooth and connected. So that will be your ultimate goal down the line, is to keep them nice and connected, keep your fingers moving consistently in time. And if you can, eventually if you want to use more than one finger, you can use your index, your pinky, and pinky. You'll notice I'm using my ring finger for some support there too. Or your index, your ring, whatever works to help you move across there. But because we're going we're playing more of a horizontal approach, usually what I do is I'll just try to use whatever fingers make sense for me. So if I was playing that, I'd probably use finger 1, 4, and 4. But using just one finger, no big deal, because like I said, our exercise is all about the picking hand. So have fun with that. Reach out with questions, and all my students here, feel free to jump on and grab all those extra materials. And subscribe to this channel if you're enjoying this.